Yes, there she is. She looks ready. Been a long time. I haven't had her in 7 or 8 weeks maybe. I had a little engine problem. It was dying on me on the highway. It was just, the engine would keep running, but it would lose all power to the, wasn't getting any power. So when I pressed the gas pedal, nothing would happen, even though the engine was still running. It was not a transmission issue. It just would not run at all. When I say at all, I mean at all. It wouldn't move. But so I brought it into the dealership, thinking, you know, this is gonna be bad. And they said it was some kind of valve, like I forgot what the valve was called. It was like it was 3 letters anyway. That's not the important part. They replaced some kind of valve. I think it was a mass airflow sensor, or the MAP sensor. I don't remember. It's an MAP sensor, whatever it was. So I got it back and it ran fine for like a day, and then it said that I was getting the error codes and stuff, and then it started doing the same thing again. It was like not working at all. I mean, the engine would run fine, but you know, after a couple of minutes, like go on the highway, the engine would die. I mean, the engine would still run, but lose same issue. It would lose power to the tires. So I brought it back, and they said they forgot to reset a computer. They forgot to reset the computer after they replaced it. So okay, they reset it. I got it back, you know, the next day or the same day or something. And then you know, the next day, same problem. Still doing the same thing. Not fixed at all. So obviously that wasn't the problem, but it was like $400, so I wasn't happy about that. But I said if it only cost $400 to get fixed, that'd be great, you know. And anyway, so you know, took it back, and they said we're gonna need some time with your car. We really can't figure out what's wrong with it. They had no idea really what was wrong with it. And so this is oh, I forgot to tell you, it was like 3 days later. I called them saying, what's up with the car, you know. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna need some time. I talked to the service manager. He's like, we're gonna need some time with your car, Mr. Verga. So we can't really figure out what's wrong with it. So I give them, you know, 3 or 4 days. Call back in about a week later. Called back a week later and said, oh, you know, the starter's out. You know, I already knew the starter was having problems. I had already paid $200 or $300 at the dealer to fix a plastic part inside the starter, which is a common problem all these Sonatas are having. There's a piece of plastic inside the starter. You can have it fixed. They can take the starter apart and fix, you know, and replace this, you know, $3 part, a little plastic part. They'll put another plastic part inside there, believe it or not. Yep, they'll put another plastic part inside the car, inside the starter. So I said, yeah, they didn't even tell me about the starter, because I wasn't prepared to pay $900 that day for the new starter. It was like $800 or $900, you know. I already had to have my car towed. I had to have my car towed to the dealership because I had nobody in town to help me out, you know. My family's out of town. And so I got that fixed. I had them replace it, you know. Oh, we could get that onto you. They said he could fix it like in an hour or two. So hey, do that. They took the starter out, replaced the plastic part, and then yeah, I was back on my way. And so, like, I don't know, 2 weeks later, I got the same problem. Starter's dying. I mean, there's no fixing it now. The starter's going out. You know, dealer wanted $800 to fix it. So I was like, oh great. I'm just have to, you know, maybe next paycheck or something, I can get it fixed or something. You know, I'm gonna try to hold on to it as long as I can, because I'm not happy about spending the $800 right now, because I just, you know. Anyway, so yeah, that happened, and then they say, yeah, we're gonna need some time, so we can't run the diagnostic test without fixing the starter, which I understand. You know, if your car can't start, how can you test an engine, you know? So yeah, they gave me a discounted price of $520. Except I don't know why they discounted. They didn't really tell me why they were discounting the price, but they gave me a discounted price, which is not a great deal, believe me, $520, because I don't know, the part's like $250 at AutoZone. If you could get a remanufactured one, a rebuilt one, or whatever you want to call it, it's like $250. Then you got to pay somebody $100 to put it in, so it's $350. But still, you know, I pay $520. It's not the end of the world. It's not good by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not the worst I've ever paid for a car to get fixed. So I got the new starter. They run a couple of tests, and a couple of days later, you know, like 3 or 4 days later, maybe a week later. I mean, I didn't really care, because they were supplying me with a free rental car. They were supplying me with a free rental at the time. I'm like, yeah, great. My car's already got 150,000 miles on it. I don't need any, you know, I don't need any more, you know, miles on my car. So I said, yeah. So they run the test, and they do what they call a leak down test, a compression test, and a leak down test. they run a leak down test, and I don't know, they call me like a week later and tell me, yeah, your engine's shot, you're gonna need a new engine, but Hyundai's gonna cover it. I'm like, go ahead, knock yourself out. Thank you, appreciate it. And so yeah, all this, so they put a new engine in. He said it was gonna take 5 to 7 weeks or something. All this is new. This here, all this is, this is all, they call it a short block assembly, which is pretty much almost everything major part of the car. All new pistons, crankcase, just about the most expensive part of the car, I guess you could say. And so it was $5,400 to have replaced, which they covered totally. I don't know, all I had to do was pay for the new starter, which was $500, like I said. But great, even though it was a part of a recall. I don't know if I said that. I was part of a recall, in that they had this particular car is a 2011, and it was put together in an Alabama plant. So you can see, I don't know if it says, oh there it is, right there, Alabama, manufacturing Alabama. Yep, and they had a big recall. I don't know, it was several 100,000 cars, and I checked my VIN number. Of course, I was part of it, and so I took it in to have it tested out. They say, oh yeah, your car's fine. There's no problem. That was like 2 years ago, and so obviously it wasn't fine, because when they ran that leak down test, they found out that there was low compression in cylinder number 4, and also they had a leak detected, compression, air leak. I don't know what compression. That's a leak down test, and it was leaking from the crankcase or something. So they just replaced the whole engine. The moral of the story is that the recall provided up an extended warranty over the 100,000 mile warranty to 120,000 mile warranty. So from 100 to 120, they added 20,000 miles to the warranty. That didn't really, that was nice for a while, but that didn't really help me once I crossed that, because I put a lot of miles on it. It's all highway miles. I put a lot of miles on my car because I do a lot of back and forth travel in Mississippi and Louisiana. And so now I got over 150. I got 152 to be exact. And this gets scratched up. It's just a cover case. It's just a case. So I got 100, and this just pops off. I got 52,000 miles on my car. This is all new. All this is here. You can see the new bolts and everything. They use the same spark plugs. Well, they replaced the spark plugs because they were having test problem with the fire. But this is spark plug. These are ignition coils, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4 ignition coils for 4-cylinder, of course. I don't know what this is for. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they use the same ignition coils. They're 20, 30 bucks each. It's not a big deal. And yeah, so I got basically a new engine. All this is, you can see how this is shiny. Yeah, so they did it. They didn't have to replace it because they were out of their obligated. I guess the federal government mandated for them to, I'm not sure if they mandated or not, but probably. Recalls are usually mandated by the federal government. Shut up, dogs! And so they were nice enough to replace my engine. So now I got a new, car basically. So I just wanted to say thanks to Hyundai for standing by their product and stuff like that. This is a Hyundai in Metairie, Louisiana, which is right outside of New Orleans. I really want to give. They did a lot of work, probably going back and forth with Hyundai corporate for them to get the approval to go ahead with the repair. All right. So if you get a chance to buy a Hyundai, I really like the Hyundai. It's a 2011. I bought it with, and I bought it in 2013 with it had 20,000 miles on it when I bought it. I think it was a enterprise rental car. But yeah, I got nice tinted windows, which are unfortunately illegal here in Louisiana because they're too dark. But I have to usually run around trying to find a place to give me a brake tag. We call them brake tags here in Louisiana, but they're not really brake. They don't check. I guess they do check your brakes. So here, it's an inspection sticker. But I got a 2-year one for 20 bucks, so I don't have to go deal with it again. So yeah, because my windows, like I said, they're too dark. They don't let through enough light. Anyway, yeah, I didn't know that when I bought the car. it was actually illegal in Louisiana. I spend most of my time in Mississippi anyway, which who knows what their laws are. Probably very lax. All right. Thank y'all. Goodbye. Again, thanks to Hyundai for helping me out with this.